Welcome to Why Are You Awake? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have comedian Thomas. Go follow him on Instagram and all his stuff. Also follow me. If you're listening to this podcast, go over and watch it on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/paulfcomedy. Follow me on Instagram and also check out my website, paulfcomedy, for all my upcoming dates. Subscribe, share, tell all your friends, and also check out our sponsors. Hey gang, as some of you know, I used to be a practicing lawyer in Chicago. I no longer practice, but from time to time, I need a lawyer. And when I need a lawyer, I call my friend Scott Shapiro. Scott Shapiro has been practicing law for over 25 years in Chicago. He does it all, from workers' compensation to personal injury, employment issues, and even entertainment law and contract needs. If you need a lawyer, call my friend Scott. 312-648-8800. That's 312-648-8800. Or you can email him at scott@scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you. You're welcome. You love sex. Everyone does. Have you ever used sex toys? Ever wanted to? Or you just feel weird about the whole thing? Well, Love Shop Toys has been in the business of destigmatizing sex toys for years, 20 years. You want a sex toy? Go to loveshoptoys.com and check out their huge variety of options. Whether you're straight, gay, trans, whatever you're into, Love Shop Toys has something for you. And if you're uncomfortable about it, guess what? They send things discreetly so no one has to know about whatever you're into. And even if you're not very active in the sex toy business, check it out. loveshoptoys.com. They send you everything, and it's free shipping for everything over $69. In addition to the free shipping, if you use the code AWAKE69, you get 20% off your whole purchase. That's right, AWAKE69. Go to loveshoptoys.com/awake69 right now and get your stuff. Can't talk about?
No, just don't be weird.
Don't be weird.
Just don't be weird.
Says the guy wearing fucking sunglasses that he put on right before the podcast started.
You know what? I put on the sunglasses. I have my neat tequila here. I'm a different guy.
Oh, that's true. I do need to address that.
Yeah. No, I should actually. It is scaring me. It is making me feel.
Were those? I thought those are. You brought those.
I brought those with me.
I didn't know if they were one of my props here that I forgot about.
No, not one of the old classic Paul prop sunglasses. These are come straight from my home.
Thomas, I do want to clarify this podcast. Why are you awake? We're just starting here. Comedian Thomas joins us. We did book you before you went viral.
Yeah.
And came out as a staunch Trump supporter.
Trump.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. I was in Canada when I saw that your clip from Laugh Factory, right? It was from Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory, Chicago.
You had someone in the front row that was in the Biden administration, and you called it out.
Shame.
And then you had a
I knew he was fuck the second
riff, and it went viral. Fox and Friends used it. They interviewed you and everything, and now you're a fucking virtual sensation.
Virtual sensation.
No comedy whatsoever.
Zero comedy.
You've only been doing comedy for 6 weeks?
6 weeks, and I made one joke about the old Sleepy Joe, and
that's all it takes.
And now I have a lot of money.
You will make a lot of money off that.
I hope.
And it's funny because I have a friend who is now huge in the conservative community.
Yeah.
Because people thought he was super Trumpy, and he's not, but he is kind of like conservative. But anyway, his following fucking that's all it is. And then
it's cool. A way better crowd than having a liberal crowd.
Agree. We've said that on this podcast before. Conservative people are way more fun.
Way more fun people.
Rural towns.
I don't need to agree with you to admit that you are better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I had this conversation.
You were way more fun as a person.
I've had this conversation on this podcast many times. Where Team Murph was talking about it recently too on the podcast, where far right crowds are usually they laugh at everything.
Yeah,
they laugh
fun.
at themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So especially Florida too. Holy shit!
You can make fun of them. You can make fun of the others. They just want it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get that.
So
on both sides.
That's what you since you've already changed. I've seen you again for the first time since you went viral. And you have you come in with sunglasses.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't want anyone to think that I didn't have a viral video. That's why I came in with these. Because
Josh,
I wouldn't want you guys. I wouldn't want you guys to walk in and just be like, "There's Josh, the guy that doesn't have a viral video."
have people treated you differently? I know you said some people are upset with you.
Yeah, some people are upset with me, and the worst part is that they're convinced that I care.
You care on some level. Does it bother you?
No.
If people don't like you?
Absolutely.
Well, then
not.
you're going to go far in
I grew up
comedy.
as a child magician.
Are you
I'm
really?
used to people not liking me, Paul.
So I was trying to think back. When I started this podcast, I always try to be like, how did I first meet you? And I don't remember.
I don't remember meeting you. I'm trying to remember. I think it was just...
I think it was a comedy bar. I remember seeing you at a
That's where I
comedy
was
bar.
always.
I think you were like really young.
18.
Somebody told me that you moved here, a friend of mine from LA or San Diego, and I don't remember who it was either. Now that I can think of the, like, he's good. Keep an eye on him. He was friends with your family or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ring a bell?
Kind of, maybe.
I don't know who it is. I was trying to remember that too.
They're like, keep an eye on him.
In a good way. They're like,
he's scary.
He's good. And then
he's an Arab. He might not look like.
I asked. I love doing shows when I'm after you and you say you're Arab, and I'm like, you guys know his name is Josh Thomas
because my mother wanted me to succeed.
But it's fun because like I'm actually Middle Eastern. And
you are.
And so you started. Did people not like you when you were young? Why?
Absolutely not. Because I started and then it quickly became. I quickly got an opportunity. So people hated that. They hate to see.
They think that it's undeserved because you're newer.
Because I was new.
Right.
But what a lot of people didn't know is that I was not new to comedy.
Okay.
I was new to maybe doing stand-up in the scene.
You've been a magician.
I've been a magician since I was a child. And people had no fucking respect for that.
What is it that you did before in comedy?
Well, I started doing stand-up in my dad's living room when I was 14. And I would go door to door, and I would sell tickets, $5 tickets to my neighbors.
For what?
For my show at my dad's house. And I would take that money, and I would go to Raphael's Party Rentals, and I would go, and we would order 35 white folding chairs. And my dad would clear the living room of furniture, and we'd like put all the furniture in the back, and then we'd set up rows of chairs, and I would have a show.
How long? What were you doing?
14 to 18. It was like I'd come out and I would do.
Just you?
I would come out. I would do it like late night. I would do like 15 minutes of like me being funny, just like one man show type stuff, and then I would. I had a desk spray painted the Josh Thomas show.
Is there video of this somewhere?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you have.
There's a whole hidden YouTube page. There's
you should,
private YouTube page.
You should release those now. Because of the viral stuff.
Yeah.
It's content.
Maybe.
Okay, so you would have
do that, and
talk show,
and I would have.
Who are you interviewing?
My funny friends. My dad had cool friends. Like he had a guy that worked for Shark Week, his friend. So he would come on and he would like bring shark tooth and like do show. So it was like late night, but it was called the Josh Thomas Show. And it was a huge fucking hit in San Diego. Don't let anyone tell you that.
How was it a hit?
People,
what do you mean?
People
in the neighborhood knew it. Knew about
it wasn't really a hit.
Okay, but you sold tickets.
It was cute, and then it started getting not cute, and I was getting closer to 18, and I started going to facial hair.
How long? How many shows did you do? More than 20?
Oh my god, yeah.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, it was 4 years.
Holy shit!
It was all the time. It was like a few times a month.
So it sounds like a drift. It's like you're what do you call those? Yeah, drifters.
Yeah, it was just something I always wanted to do.
Or grifter, grift. It sounds like a grift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Grifters, like they just scam people.
If you say it a few more times, it might click.
You don't know the word grifter? Well, I said drifter first, like a fucking idiot.
Thrifter.
Like your dad, would you share the profits with your dad and then move to another town and do it all over?
The profits would go to the rental chairs.
Okay.
There was no money being made.
You didn't make money off of it?
I would, but the chairs were expensive.
Okay.
And then I would also get like props and like I would pay my friends like $10 to like help me. I had
So
like a fog machine backstage.
You were in like the promotion business early on too.
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. What's your
show business?
Was your dad the Arab?
No, my dad's the white.
Oh, he's the white.
Yeah.
That's a very Arabic business.
It's very Arab. My mom was the puppet master behind it. She would be like, don't make sure to keep track of how much coming in, how much going out. I'm like, I'm not running. I'm not laundering over here, Mom. I'm just trying to sell some. I would busk with my violin. I played violin.
So you were in entertainment for years.
Yeah, for sure.
But you started stand-up comedy when you were 18.
Yeah, but if you count in my living room, 14. So like that's what I'm saying is I came to the scene and like I was like a
the
kid.
Scene in Chicago, you mean?
Yeah.
But
like
you were doing this was all in San Diego?
It was all in San Diego.
Okay.
And then I moved to Chicago. I realized that shit ain't cute no more.
You're 18.
And then I was like, okay, to the clubs.
What brought you to Chicago?
College.
Where did you go to college?
Columbia College.
Okay.
Chicago.
Were you studying comedy there too?
Comedy writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you start doing? What was your first stand-up show then? Not including
my first show, paid show in Chicago.
Just
Lindy's Chili.
What's that?
It was a chili restaurant run by DJ Ribsky.
Oh yeah.
And it was during the pandemic because that's when I started. Yeah, it was a chili restaurant, and there was 9 people there, and I got paid.
Wait, is that on the South Side?
South Side.
I did that show.
$8 in ones.
That's good.
I was excited.
Were you doing open mics before that?
Yeah.
Okay, so why
Riddles
yeah.
Comedy Club on the South
Sure.
Side every Monday night. That was the only thing he opened, and then I went to Stretch.
Stretch in Wrigleyville. Okay.
And that's like when things started opening a little bit, and then I was like, oh, okay.
So how did you get into the comedy bar then?
Chris Bader.
Okay.
Chris Bader met me at the comedy bar, and he saw that I was kind of like a young, excited kid. And I was like, I really want to do the open mic, but I've tried for weeks. I can't get on this. Because it used to be a lottery.
Yeah.
He brought me over to Sahar, the owner. And he was like, put these 2 kids up next week. They got us 2 reserved spots the next week, Monday night at the comedy bar. And I told everybody at my college. I told every classroom. I said, hey, everybody, hey, everybody. I'm doing 3 minutes at the comedy bar. Come check me out. I told every class, every club I was in, everybody. And I think I had like 45 people show up.
Oh, wow.
40, 50 people.
And they're like, you're going to have your own show here now.
Yeah. And then Blake was like, you can come back next week. It was hosted by Blake. He's like, you can come.
Oh, for Blake's
Blake's
show when
mic.
he was talk show host.
Yeah. And then he's like, you can come back and do it next week. So I did it, and I packed it up 40 different people.
That's awesome.
And then I did it one more time. And then I met Chris Higgins at a bar, and he's like, why don't you come do my Wednesday show?
Oh, that's
and it was my first book spot at Comedy Bar. Brought a bunch of people, packed it out, and then I got an email that week. And I remember the email. It was like, Sahar sent me like, hi, blah, blah, blah. We've heard you've been coming around and working our mics. I'd love to meet with you to talk about working on an ongoing basis. And I asked Bill, the manager at the time, I go, what's this mean? He was like, she probably wants you to have a show here.
That's awesome.
And then we met, and then she was like, I'll give you $100 a week to do a Sunday show at 5:30.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
The
that's
comedy
right.
pregame.
I did that show for you. I did your
you did
show
it a few times.
Yeah. Okay.
That's probably where we honestly met.
Okay.
It was just like, I probably just
no,
because
I think I knew you by the time I did your show. So I love that. I love that about you. You're a hustler. And a lot of people don't understand how important that is in comedy.
It's show business.
Chris and I we used to do our shows together, 2.5 Persians, where we would sell out all these music clubs.
Your peak.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Just fucking
my peak? Yeah. Oh my God. We were horrible comedians.
No.
Horrible. We were like 6 months in. We were doing rooms that were like fucking 600 people. Park West. We were doing shows, and I mean, it's like I watched videos of that. I'm like, God, it was so bad.
Oh yeah.
But we were hustlers, and then that's how Laugh Factory, Comedy Bar, all those people saw that we were like, okay, we can bring fucking people to shows, and people forget that apart. And then there's an animosity with that, right?
Oh yeah.
You'll see it now every time something happens where you grow a fan base or something. People get pissed off.
Totally. No, I had 2 assets.
And it's good that you don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it didn't bother me, but then lately it does bother you sometimes where you're like, you have this great thing happen. Like for you, Fox News thing came out big, and then people are talking shit. It's like, you just have to, you're not here to make friends.
I don't care. I
like that.
I knew I wanted to do comedy when I was like a baby. Like when I was in 2nd grade, we did like a what you want to do, grow up thing. It was my stand up. And but when I was like in 2nd grade, like writing about wanting to be a comedian, I wasn't like, but only for the left. You know what I mean?
No, I just mean like
it's for everybody. I don't care. I don't care who I go for. Yeah, people hate. That's so sad.
Well, it's not even the fact that it's Fox. It's just the fact that I think that hatred, that animosity people have towards you, probably started when you had your own show. People are like, how's this asshole?
Totally.
Only doing comedy for 2 years, and who gives a shit? You're fucking putting
I got the comedy bar
asses
show.
in seats.
4 months into stand up.
Yeah.
They hated it.
I was hosting the Laugh Factory open mic 6 months into comedy. Yeah. No, that's not true. It was probably 2 years in. But I had a fucking paid spot every fucking Wednesday for 2 years.
Wow.
But my point is that there's all that animosity, and it's going to keep happening, especially when you're getting more and more successful. And you can't let it bother you. And that's good. You already fucking don't. Although it looks like you're crying right now.
No, I have very watery eyes.
Oh, okay. It's like, you're like, yeah, I don't care. And then you start like,
I came here to be very emotional. Imagine if I just started breaking down on here and I'm just like, you're right. I just lay down therapy.
I do want to point out one compliment to you too, because I've done shows with you when you weren't good. I mean, it's just the way it is. And then I remember you did my show, Stand Up, Sit Down, and it was a fucking rough start. Everyone was eating dicks, and you came on and fucking murdered. The crowd loved you.
I remember it.
It was when Ken Flores was in town too.
Remember.
And I was like, dude, that was awesome. And I remember another comedian was like, he's not good. I'm like, fuck you. He's fucking good.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, if he can make people laugh and he's so likable, who cares that he's only been doing comedy for whatever? And there were so much people. I just noticed it then too. And it reminded me of when we started, where people were like assholes to Chris too, and me. He'll tell you too. And it's just like, you just got to fucking overcome that shit.
You can't care.
That's good. That's a good attitude to have.
If people hate it, it means they're bored.
You said you started when you were 14. What were you doing in high school besides fucking magic? Were you just a nerdy fucking
like a
weird
theater kid?
You were a theater kid?
I was a theater kid.
I figured that.
Really liked the beach.
Were you like popular, or were you kind of like didn't fit
Yeah,
in?
sure. People,
I guess San Diego's different.
It was different. I was well known for being the different guy, the guy that liked doing different things. Because everyone liked the same thing. Everyone liked to skate, surf, just go to the beach, hang out, smoke weed, whatever. And I was kind of the guy that's like, but you could come to my magic show in my dad's backyard. They're like, we're gonna go watch porn. But I appreciate it.
Were you like popular with the ladies? Like, did you?
No.
Okay.
No, everyone, including myself, thought I was gay until I hit puberty. And then that was like a few days ago. And then I just started drowning.
How long does it take you to grow out that mustache?
This is actually not that long. This is 2 weeks.
Okay.
This is pretty good too, huh?
Yeah,
look
looks
at that
real.
shit.
Yeah.
Take a look.
In high school, were you like going out and drinking with people and shit like that?
No.
Not a partier?
Didn't drink.
Didn't drink at all?
I don't think I got drunk till I was like 18.
So
but now I party.
Okay. So when you were in high school, were you like, what did you do at nights? Were you like a late night person?
I went to arts boarding school.
What's that?
I went to boarding school for the arts.
Oh, okay.
I went to like an art school. So it's like I would.
So what is?
But I would go home a lot on the weekends. But during the week, I was surrounded by other artists, and then we would just crash in our dorms.
Did you like stay up late and fucking write?
Like outside of like, I was kind of like a not boring kid. I was like always wanting to do like. I was just like, I'd go to bed, I'd wake up early, and then I would go to my class. But I was always looking to put on like a show.
When did you become like a night person? When you started doing stand-up comedy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In high school, college?
College.
Okay.
Like, and then college, I was like, I think I didn't party at all in high school until literally after I graduated. It was like my first probably like high school. My first high school party was after I graduated.
Okay.
When it was like, we're all seniors, we just graduated, let's party. And then I moved to college, and then I started partying a lot.
Why'd you come to Chicago? It's kind of a big transition.
Googled one day. I literally remember Googling one day, junior year of high school, colleges to go to if you want to be a comedian. If you Google that right now, the first number one on that, you'll find an article that's like top 5 colleges for aspiring comedians, and Columbia was number 1.
Are you fucking kidding
College,
me?
Chicago. It's the only college I submitted to. It's the only college I applied to.
Wow, I had no idea.
2 weeks later, I got in.
So you didn't even care? You'd never been to Chicago?
Shit, I didn't come to tour it. I was like, I'm gonna freak. I'm literally just going to college because my mom wants me to go to school. It would be kind of fun to meet friends and go to school, but I know I want to be a comedian.
And your people are big comedians.
And I wasn't going to waste my time getting like a marketing degree or business degree. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to. I didn't care about the degree. I just wanted to start getting out there.
This was your destiny since you were a kid.
Ever since I was a child, this is the only thing I wanted to do. You could ask anyone that knows me.
I believe it.
Anybody as a kid. Anyone that knew me as a kid. Even like friends, like they'll tell you.
So who were you watching as a kid?
Jim Carrey, Robin Williams.
Okay.
John Mulaney.
Those are very different, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. But just like kind of like those like physical, really goofy.
Sure.
The goofy comedian. A little bit of Eddie Murphy. My dad really liked Eddie Murphy.
I feel like I'm probably your dad's age, so I don't like that.
No, don't worry. You're not. I got an older dad. My dad's in his 60s.
Oh, okay. Good.
Both my parents are. But if they're watching, they're in their late 30s. Anyway, they're not watching. But
it's not live.
Yeah, it's what I've always wanted to do.
Well, good for you. Let's talk about college. You're in college, Columbia College. They're all comedians too.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oof.
Bad? Are any of them stand?
I dissociated pretty quickly.
What do you mean?
As soon as I started doing comedy in the scene. So what happened was I started freshman year. We did a couple mics. Met Ryan Oliver. I'll never forget that. Did a couple mics. Like some of the first people I met was Khalil and Ryan Oliver.
Khalil the comedian?
Khalil Faruqi. Yeah, I started doing the open mics, and then maybe 2 or 3 open mics, and then COVID happened. And then I went back home to San Diego for the whole year, like the rest of my freshman year and half my sophomore year.
Wow.
And then finally school went back into session in person, flew back halfway through my sophomore year, so I missed a whole year of college, like on Zoom in San Diego. One of the best years of my life. That was so much fun. And met my girlfriend, started growing facial hair.
You were doing skydiving too, right?
I started getting into scuba diving, skydiving. All that stuff. And then I came back to Chicago, and that's when I was like, I didn't really have anything. I didn't do anything during that year, like artistically. It was like the first time in my life I didn't do anything artistically. It was that whole year of COVID. I didn't make comedy videos. I didn't make anything.
You're just living your life.
I just played at the beach and worked at the kayak shop. This was La Jolla Kayak.
Okay.
That's where I worked, and it was so fun. And then I came back and I was like, I remember my dad always kind of guilting me a little bit. He'd be like, "Whatever happened to a little comedy, Josh? Huh?" Like after COVID, and then that really was like.
Well, did you?
I was like, he's still here. I swear to God, he's still here.
You knew you were going to go back to comedy. It wasn't like you.
It was just like I just stopped thinking about it during COVID. I think it just distracted me so much.
When you go to class at Columbia College the first day, like let's just say your first class, Comedy 101, are they like, okay, first lesson, go to a fucking open mic? All right, come back in 6 weeks.
They never told you that. They never really said that kind of stuff. It wasn't really.
What are they teaching you at the classes?
It was like the first days was like improv games, and then
so it's all comedy, not stand up.
Yeah, all types of comedy, and then it was like writing sketches. They really didn't care about stand ups. They have the whole comedy degree, but very little of it is dedicated to stand up, which is crazy because stand up is like the root of most comedians.
Well, that's where like all the money's at.
Yeah,
I mean compared to improv.
Yeah, but it's just weird. Yeah, they didn't really. There was one stand-up class to offer, and I didn't end up taking it. There was like a 1 week section of Comedy 101. It was called Foundations of Comedy, and 1 week of the whole semester we focus on stand-up. That's it.
Are the teachers comedians? Okay. I mean, like sometimes you'll see the list.
Yes, they are.
Like they're
like local like sketch comedians.
Okay. Like I saw someone posting like I'm teaching comedy. I'm like, what?
Ooh, what?
That's not a good idea.
Yep. What do you mean you're teaching comedy?
But yeah, I just want to. Well, I know Kevin Bozeman teaches comedy.
He's great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he teaches stand up at DePaul.
Oh, it's DePaul. Okay.
Yeah, I wish so. Yeah, that seems great.
Yeah, his class is different.
It was like that's why. So sophomore year when I started, and I came back from COVID, I just started doing the open mics, and then as soon as like I got the comedy bar show and like I started getting things rolling in Chicago, I immediately stopped. Like after class, I was out. I didn't audition for anything on campus. I didn't audition for any school play. I didn't audition for any comedy show on campus. Maybe I auditioned for one comedy show. I remember, and I didn't get it. And I was like, okay, whatever. Sucks. I didn't audition for anything. I wasn't really around. I didn't go to the clubs. I stopped going to like the improv comedy club. They had like a comedy club I stopped going to, and I kind of stopped caring a little bit because I was like
about comedy or classes
because I was just like, but I cared about like the academic. I still care, like I still put in the effort, but it was for me. It was very much like I'm getting what I need in the city,
doing open mics,
and that's why I really came. But I'm grateful for the college for that because like without the college, I wouldn't have come to the city and I wouldn't have seen what the city has to offer.
Chicago. It's the best market for open. I mean, there's no other place where you can get up this much.
Yeah, so it was great. And then I remember just like being like telling a lot of classmates like go to this mic, like come do my show, like, and then I kind of ended up being the point guard for stand up of my class.
Bringing open micers.
I kept being like the person, like I kept being with the person to like, I was like the stand up guy. I became the stand up guy.
If people want to try stand up, you help them.
Yeah,
navigate.
I'd be like, come do my because of that I already had the pregame shows. Like come do my show, or I'd be like, this is the open mic I go to. Come with me. And there was times where I'd roll with like 8 people, fill my car up, and be like, you guys, I'm doing open mics. You come into my dorm at this time, and I'll take everybody. And like I would bring.
Oh, that's cool.
Or I'd be like, we're all going to meet at the Red Line. We're going to go to do the annoyance tonight, and I would get like literally 15 people, and we would go, and then all those people quit.
Really?
Yeah. No one that I started with in college just keeps going, except Maddie Fisher.
Maddie did comedy?
Oh, yeah. She started as a comedian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was really funny.
She's the booker at Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Operations manager.
Yeah.
And that's what I started with.
Okay. I didn't know that.
The first time we both ever walked into Laugh Factory was together.
Let's talk about when you are in college, after you do the open mics, are you hanging out with your classmates or you start drifting to
In the beginning, it was like classmates, and then it was more like my roommate became a really good friend. And then lo and behold, I started making comedy friends. And then that became my people.
And you hustled, and you have your own shows at the Laugh Factory, and you have a show at the
Kibitz Nest.
Kibitz, yeah. And you started those, and I talked to you about that once when I did the show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you created this shit from scratch.
Yeah.
Based on your knowledge from when you were a magic show guy.
Yeah, exactly.
You're a hustler.
That's where like all my show production comes from.
And you like doing it.
Yeah, I love it.
And they're good at it.
I have a passion for producing shows like just as much as I love doing the actual stand-up.
So you already have things where you can self-produce when you get to the level where you feel that you're ready. Like you have all the stuff that this is like what Bert Kreischer does. This is what Andrew Schultz does.
Yeah.
You don't need anybody else to do what you're doing.
I like the production side of comedy. I like the business side of comedy.
When are you writing?
I don't write.
Ever.
Mm-mm.
So
well, yeah, ever is a crazy word, but like I rarely sit down at a computer and I'm like, this is when I write my jokes now.
Okay.
Like it's
so where are you writing, on stage?
Yeah, a lot of the times, like I have a napkin.
Concept?
I have a napkin in my pocket on stage that has like one word that has to do with like a bit. But a lot of times, like I have certain friends that I can just be on the phone with that aren't comedians. That like if I have something, I'm like, wait, do you think this is funny? Like this idea.
So there are ideas in your head. Do you record your sets and then you listen to see what got the pop or what?
Or no, so like I said, I'll come up with an idea. I have like a list of, and I have like a list in my head of like the people that I like to call, like my non-comedian friends who are funny as hell, and we'll just like. I'll bring it up and then we'll just start like talking about it, but not like trying to write. We're just like, it's very natural. And we're just like, well, we're making jokes. And I'm like, okay, that's a bit. And then I'll write down like a couple words that remind me of it. And then I'll bring it on stage and then just start doing it. But now I have enough shows a month now where it's like, I don't really try new stuff at open mics per se, unless it's like a club
You're
open
trying
mic,
at your shows.
like comedy bar open mic or Laugh Factory open mic. But outside of that, I don't really try new stuff at open mics. I take it on shows because I have my own shows. So it's like I just use that to try my new material. And then from that, you get a way better read from an audience than you do from an open mic audience.
So when you're trying the new stuff on the stage, are you recording it and then listening to what works? Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's
and then like I middle it. So it's like I start strong with stuff I know works.
Shit sandwich it's called.
Yeah, yeah. And then I throw some shit in the middle and then I fucking close strong. But a lot of the time, if I get in the mode in my like, I can't even activate my stand-up energy when I'm not doing it. But like, like when I'm on stage, I'm very
animated,
very energetic.
High
and once
energy.
I get into that, especially with the first few minutes being stuff I know crushes, then I can like kind of tap into this delivery that I'm like, even if the joke itself isn't that funny, I can find a way to make them laugh. Like that.
Are you headlining shows now?
A little bit, yeah. I'm headlining.
How long are you doing?
Like, if I headline, I'd like if I'm on a showcase, like a lot of times, like
let's say you're going last.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go last. I'll get extra time, like 20.
Okay.
Or like don't tells. Like a lot of time, I'll close out some. Like just closed one out in Boston, closing out San Diego next week.
So when you do those, when you have to go to a higher level, do you think you're going to be able to sustain a high energy show for 60 minutes?
Oh yeah.
Because that's hard to do. A lot of people, you have to have a dip where you get.
Well, a lot of my personality just enhanced a little bit. Like I am a pretty energetic guy.
Right.
Yeah. This is the end of the day. It's almost midnight. I woke up at 6 a.m. So I've been doing it.
So you wake up in the morning early and you stay up late?
I literally wake up like this. I wake up.
How much sleep are you getting?
I get like 6 hours.
Okay.
5.5.
And you're fine with that? Are you on Adderall?
No.
This is just all natural. So what I'm saying is like even the comedians like you mentioned like Robin Williams or who was the other high energy Jim Carrey didn't do stand up after a while, but when you're doing an hour you can't sustain and Robin Williams did a lot of coke, but like you have to have a dip where you're telling a story. What are you going to do in that dip?
Oh, I think you have to have like I love like.
Do you know what I'm saying?
So first of all, I like that hands-free stand-up. I don't actually like holding the microphone that much.
Okay.
I love when I just posted a clip a couple days ago. It was a small room. So if it's a small room, I just don't use the microphone. I just put it behind me.
That's good.
Talk. That's what I like. I like having this, but I also like when I do comedy bar. It's so easy to just get off the stage and walk in the crowd. I like to do that, and like how Robin Williams did. He would go and walk through the crowd and tell jokes, and that's kind of how I want it. I love being in the crowd.
Yeah,
so like if there's ever a room like the Comedy Store in La Jolla where I can easily hop off stage and start walking around, I'm like house lights. I like to walk around and just go.
Is that your home club?
That's like where. So I grew up like about 3 blocks away from it, and my elementary school's across the street. So I would always see it. So that was like the first thing in my life where I was like, I want to do that.
That's awesome. After a show, like, you're still high.
What day of the week are we talking?
Well, what do you do? Because if you're up late after a show, it takes a while for you to come down from the rush, I assume.
Yeah.
So what are you usually doing? I've seen you at my spot sometimes, by the way. You always go. I saw you a couple times with your buddies at that
Doghouse.
Doghouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw you
Sometimes,
guys there
you go for the late. During the week, it's always like after a show. It's either like a late food hang or I smoke some marijuana and just hang out at my house. If it's a weekend and I do a Friday, Saturday night show, the schedule is show, dance. I go dancing.
Where do you go dancing?
I go to the nightclubs.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, every weekend.
What are the...
That's like what I look
North?
forward to throughout
I guess
the
you're
whole
that
week.
age, yeah.
The whole week, that's what I look forward to.
You just go clubbing?
Clubbing.
Really?
Every
I
weekend.
cannot see that.
Friday, Saturday night, every
Are
weekend.
you dressed like this when you go to the clubs, or you have like your
Well, I didn't
club
like
outfit?
that comment too much, but I...
Well, I'm just saying, you got to dress up on that.
Yeah,
You're going to clubs, right?
Yeah, just whatever I wore on stage that night. But the clubs, I
Go ahead, tell me what you're going to say.
Yeah, I like to go out. I'm a regular face at the clubs I go to, so it's like I kind of just I take whoever I want. Sometimes you go with friends or
so you
bring a group of
wait in line, you're VIP
girls or whatever from the audience, and
or
you go.
You're
with
living your best
friends.
life.
Yeah, and you just get in because you're a comedian. A lot of people don't know that. If you're a comedian in Chicago, people like that.
Sure,
you can get in places if you drop that you're a comedian.
Yeah,
if you're a comedian, you're doing it.
Yeah,
if you're not, you can't just say you're a comedian.
I once did a show. We went to a bar. It's a late night bar, high end bar that we got in because my friend was the promoter for the bar. And at the door, this is a true story. I have pictures of it that night. At the door, I saw that they weren't letting in Joe Mandy and Aziz Ansari. And I was like, are you guys fucking kidding me? The doorman didn't know Aziz Ansari. Parks and Rec was on.
Yeah.
And because he was wearing like this rainbow bright like jacket, they're like, we're not letting these fucking. I'm like, dude, those guys are on fucking Parks and Rec. It's like the #1 show on NBC right now.
Yeah.
And I had to talk to the doorman to let him in. I was the lawyer for the club, so that doesn't always work. And I have a picture of me with Joe Mandy and Aziz Ansari pissed off at the club, like a late night.
Yeah.
River North late night club. No longer in existence.
I got my spots in Chicago.
What are your spots?
I love house calls. I like house music.
Okay.
It's really intimate. You got to be like, it's kind of exclusive. And I like to bring my friends there. We like to party. I like Goodnight John Boy in the West Loop's got a nice dance floor. I like Celeste. I like live music.
Oh, Celeste, I know.
Bring me to Howl at the Moon. Bring me to the Green Mill on a Thursday night.
Howl at the Moon is not a club. That's like
it's
piano.
like a bar. Yeah.
Okay.
But I have different vibes.
So you're dancing like Billy Joel?
That's different. The Howl at the Moon's like we start the night there. We're not going too crazy to Piano Man, but But then, I like to go out. Every weekend I go out.
You just dance till
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
And there's no foreign substances in your body other than pot or alcohol? Are you allowed to answer that question?
I will say that I drink alcohol.
Okay. Because it's hard to stay up.
Yeah, no.
Listen, I've been there, buddy.
I've got lots of natural energy, is what I'll say.
Fair enough.
And I've got lots of natural energy, and I drink when I go out a little bit, and I have fun. I'm young. I'm supposed to.
You're supposed to.
23 years old.
That's insane.
I'm supposed to have fun.
Yeah, I remember.
So I do it.
And Are you taking comedians out?
Yeah, I'll try to take comedians out, and every comedian.
Isn't that like the most? You're taking a bunch of autistic people to a club, and then
sometimes I stopped. I can't do it anymore. I used to
I just picture you.
At shows, I'd be like, "Come out with me," and they'd be like, "Okay, sure," and I'd bring them, and I'd be like, "Bad idea," because they don't understand what I mean by going out. They think we're gonna go to a dive bar, and then they get there, and there's like a line wrapping around the block. We goes to the front, and I'm like, "I'm with these. They're with me." Blah blah blah.
They're wearing their fucking New Balance shirts with their fucking plaid shirts, and you're like, "Come on in here, guys."
We pull up to the club. I know the bouncer. I dab the bouncers up, and I'm like, and then we go in.
And he's like, "Who are these kids you're taking?"
Like, we're doing a round of shots. Everyone grab one. They're like, "This is not what the fuck I thought you were talking about." So they can never hang. But I have my group of people that I go out with that are not stand-up comedians.
I just pictured 3 of the weirdest comedians in my head that you going with them. I don't want to say their names. And you're like, I just picture them at like fucking Celeste. And then they're like,
"Oh, it's happened." I'm like,
it would just look like a bad field trip.
I can't bring you out. But yeah, I have a group of non-comedian friends that I bring out.
Okay, that makes more sense.
That are very fun. I make sure I hang out with non-comedians all the time. I like to do stand-up. And
then when you're done, you go dance.
And when I'm done, I want nothing to do with it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I want to go out. I want to party. I want to have fun. And then I want to sleep. And I want to wake up the next day, have a whole day, do stand-up, and then go out and do it again.
But you're doing more promoting for these shows that you have to like basically bus for.
Oh, during the day I bust my ass. Promoting, marketing. I reach out to like everyone that like follows me or like reposts stuff.
Yeah.
I'm reaching out to followers.
That's great.
I'm keeping everything active. So it's like I monitor everything very much.
You're like a baby Bert Kreischer right now.
If you comment on something, you're getting a reply.
Yeah, of course.
Even if I don't know
Engagement.
you. I engage. You know what I mean? I reach out to shows. I'm consistent. I send like maybe 20, 30 emails a day.
Yeah.
Just like reaching out to clubs and being like, hey, I got spots. Or I'm like, hey, I'm booking out my September right now. I try to book out like months out. So when that time comes, when September comes, I'm like, oh, I've already got 30 shows. We're good.
Right. But then how are you? Well, now you have a following that you can get people to sell tickets.
Yeah, it's great. And I had a clip before that, like a few months ago, also go like semi-viral. Like,
what was that one?
It's like the one with my leg hair.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's like one of your jokes. One of my signature bits.
Yeah.
And that went pretty well. And then I started having a lot of Arab people showing up to my shows being like, I saw the leg. Yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I just had a bunch of Macklemore fans just shit on me because I made fun of his song.
Well, you got to be careful, pal.
Well, I'm half Jewish too, so I got to. I'm
God.
towing a line between the Jews and the Muslims.
You're a conflict within yourself. My God. Yeah. So it's like I also really care about the people that like actually come to shows. I feel it feels like family. I'm like, oh fuck yeah,
that's
like
good.
Random stranger I've never met before actually like cares and supports me.
Well,
that's
they paid
insane.
to see you.
Yeah, it's weird.
And and that show I've done your show that Kibitznis. That's a fucking awesome show.
Yeah, they always show up.
I used to have a weekly show at Laugh Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have it now, right? It's the same stuff.
Yeah, you used to have Drink Date Laugh.
Drink Date Laugh, and then they
First
Curtis like, can you have it? Because I never could do it anymore. I started traveling, and then it was in other people's hands, and then those people started, like Sarah Perry took it over, but then she started getting booked, so nobody was running it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I noticed
love my show.
They don't have the same care and love that you have for their shows. Yeah. What are you going to do then? Because you're not going to be able to be there, especially when we start getting booked more.
Yeah.
And I noticed it already, too, because I think someone said that. They're like, oh, he's not here.
It's a bummer because I do a lot of marketing for it.
Yeah.
Because people like I host it every time, so people like know me as like the host.
Are you going to try to take on more shows that you want to produce, or are you going to step away from it?
I'm booking Next Stop Comedy Midwest.
What's that?
So it started as Boston Comedy Club in Boston, Mass. Yeah. And it was like the independent scene.
Oh yeah,
so
it
was a company.
That. Yeah.
And they had shows all over the city, like pop-up shows. Yeah, and then they started branching out and doing breweries in Boston, and then out around Boston, and then New Hampshire and Rhode Island and New York. And then they were like, oh, let's start doing other places. And then they started doing it in like Indiana and Michigan and Wisconsin and Illinois.
Dude, you have like your own business.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun because there's like, we've had 6 already and I haven't been to any of them. I just send people. And then, but I'm doing one. I'm headlining one on Thursday.
Hell yeah.
And it's selling really good.
I wonder why.
Because it's in the middle of Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
The MAGA folks are coming out from underground.
Hell
like
yeah.
The cicadas.
Whatever it takes.
They're coming for me.
Whatever it takes.
I love them.
Hey.
Give it. You know what? They're a good crowd. They're good sports. Come, give me. I'll take it.
Take their money.
Give it to me.
I did a show in Reno once, and the 2 guys in front were wearing the new MAGA hats.
Oh, I love it.
And I was like, oh no. And they all bought merch, and I was like,
they're the best crowd.
I'm like, fuck you, libs. They're all fucking.
We don't need to agree on everything to laugh about the same shit.
Well,
friends.
When are you gonna have time to like get better as a comedian though? Like that's something you got to also focus on too.
I always am working out.
You have your business, yeah.
Yeah, but also like I never go on stage and not try something.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is like
I have to do something new every time.
When I was producing a lot of shows, I hated it. I didn't like doing it. I was good at it, but I didn't like doing it because it took away time from writing and getting better as the creative side of it, right? Yeah. And I understand the business of it. I was fucking music manager for years, and I fucking understand how to book shows and everything like that and promote stuff. But it takes away from the ability to be creative, though. Well, but somehow you found a way to.
Yeah, I think it's easy for me because I have an equal passion for both.
Well, that's good.
Like I don't like performing. Like I love performing as much as I love producing.
When you go to a show that's produced poorly, are you just like looking around the room? You're like, oh, look at this light. Look at this.
A lot of times I'll say it though. People don't like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
What do you say?
Like what I'll go to someone else's show and I'm like, if I see something that's clearly an easy fix, I'm like,
What are the things that you see most often?
Where the stages.
Yeah.
Like, oh, the stage shouldn't be there. The stage should be over there.
When you walk in a room, you can figure that out?
Yeah, right away. I did a show not too long ago, and I saw the stage. I was like, stage goes there. Audience wraps around it like that.
You should just have a consulting business for
It's
this.
insane. Some people. Why is the performer next to the TV? Turn the TV off.
Oh, yeah.
Why is the sports on?
I hate when they have
Turn
the
that
TVs off.
Or sometimes it's like they're not playing music loud enough. Like that's a big
for
key,
intro
big
and
key.
outro?
No, for pre-show. The music needs to be louder than the people. You always
But doesn't that make it so they keep talking louder, and then when the show stops, they know?
No, I think
What's
that's.
the
I
key?
think this is how I think a proper show.
Tell me, yeah,
starts.
this is interesting.
I think the music needs to be loud, not too loud in the beginning. It starts soft. Music progressively gets louder the closer we get to showtime. That's how I produce my shows.
Okay.
Let's say it starts at 50%. We start letting people in. There's not that many people in. It can't be too loud yet.
Sure.
And then once you can start hearing the people over the music, turn it up a little bit. More people are coming in, right? The room starts packing out. As soon as I can start hearing conversations, turn it up. So now you want basically people talking over the music. It's getting them excited. It makes them feel like something. It's a psychological thing.
But then aren't they then when you when the show starts, they're talking
As
still.
long as you have a good host, you're all game.
Okay.
You're all good. As long as you're a good host or you got a good host.
Okay.
Good hosts are critical.
Host is such an important
It's the
part
most
of the
important
show.
part of the show.
I agree with you there.
Bad host, bad show.
What are the other pitfalls you think people make when they're producing
critically,
their own shows?
the music thing in the beginning is critical. A lot of the times, like even at comedy clubs, I'll go up and I'll be like, is it weird to ask if you could just turn the music up a little bit? And there'll be a lot of times, sometimes they'll be like, is it quiet in there? I'll go, it's pretty damn quiet in there. And they'll do it. Because I can feel like it's not setting right. Because if it's not loud enough, people start to whisper. They start going, oh, I don't want to be loud. I don't want to be a loud person.
But you want them to be loud before the show starts.
Because you want energy. Because you want that first cheer. They've been
See,
talking.
I would think the opposite because you want them to shut the fuck up when the show starts.
I don't want them to shut the fuck up when the show starts.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the host. Talk to me. Have some fun. Don't
what
be
about
shy.
during the comedian sets, though?
Well, I let them know.
Okay.
You get it out of them. And if you're a good
that's
host,
interesting.
if you have a good host with you, you know how to talk to the crowd. You know how to like get what the crowd wants. By the way, in my opinion, the crowd wants you to do something with the crowd.
Yeah,
especially nowadays where the crowd
every
work.
Clip, yeah.
Every comedy audience are like,
that's why they're at the
when's
show.
When's he gonna do crowd work? So like you do that, you do it good, you do it right, you get your laughs, they're satisfied, and then you're like, hey guys, we're gonna have a good time. The better you guys are crowd, the better we are. Let's fucking settle down, and like have some fun. Also, like don't I hate when hosts like rules. It's like when it's like, don't do this, don't talk to comedians, let's take that. It's like, shut up.
You have to do that.
But there's a way to do it without
Sure.
reprimanding the crowd. Yeah. I've seen hosts go up and just be like, don't talk to the people. It turns them
off.
Like, but we want to have fun.
Well, I think they just have to be trained properly. And if you have a weekly show like you do at Kibitznitz, they've learned how the show runs.
Yeah, and we get repeat customers and like they know me and you know what I mean?
That's what you want.
Yeah. It's like a little family. I recognize audience members. I'll go, Jack, what's going on?
Jack.
It's like
that's what
audience member name.
I thought they were calling you Jack.
No, I just you recognize people after a while.
That's the go-to name for you, Jack?
Jack is like an actual audience member that comes to all the shows. I just recall him.
I didn't think Jack was a name that people under 25 still have.
Yeah, my best friend's name is Jack. One of my best friends' name is Jack Tobin.
I just think of someone that's like 70 years old and was in a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
That's Jack Nicholson. Jack. We're out of time. Josh, where can people find out more about you?
Hey, this was a lot of fun. I'm glad we just kind of got to talk about it a little bit. Just about it. What's going on? My name is joshoceanthomas, and that is my handle across every platform. We're talking YouTube. We're talking X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Instagram, joshoceanthomas. My link tree is in my Instagram. It's in my Twitter. It's everywhere. It has all of my shows updated every day. I update it every day. Anytime I get a gig, I put it on. So you come to it.
Go check him out.
I got lots of shows.
Josh, keep crushing. Don't listen to people and don't let them get you down.
Paul, you're great. Thanks for having me, bro.
Don't go changing.
Oh, I'm going to change.
Sorry. Thank you all for watching and listening to another edition of Why Are You Awake? Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. Bye, everyone. Ciao.